All right, hello and welcome to the AirBuds Podcast.
Keep it in.
It's whatever. Welcome to the show. Bienvenue, AirBuds. Eee.
They said we wouldn't keep doing it.
And then nothing else.
And we stopped. What's up? What's up, Mel?
Yo, what's going on? Pedro Podcastino.
Happy basketball, my dude.
It is a happy basketball. I cannot watch more than 10 seconds of a Wizards game.
Yeah, why would you, man? That's unhealthy. Not to be... No one wants that, you know?
I will revisit this topic. Benner is not with us today.
James Harden got traded in 2004, and he still has not played a basketball game. So we're just living in this liminal space where we all make wild, rash decisions about what the Clippers are going to be.
Yeah, and and Benner got caught up in that. He's kind of in a time rift. He was trying to get Harden to come back to the Sixers and got caught in a Back to the Future type situation. I think he's being sexually assaulted in the 1800s right now.
I haven't watched Loki, but that sounds like something that Jonathan Majors might do. So, is that too soon?
I think it's right on time.
Right? Isn't he wearing like 19th century garb and like going to court?
If you like what you've heard so far and you just can't wait for us to talk about some basketball, subscribe to the show in many forms. You can follow us on Twitter at AirBudsPod, on all the social medias. We're also at airbudspodcast at Gmail if you just want to just send us some mail. And it's patreon.com/airbudspod.
That's it. Good job, man.
Thank you. I tried to be regular as shit that whole time.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Do people like that bit? Nobody says anything about that bit, but we just keep doing it. And nobody is like, man, I love it when they pretend to end the show. But also, nobody is like, I hate it when they pretend to end the show.
I think they're like kind of relieved for a second.
There's like everybody has a split second where they're like, thank God.
They're like, all right, cool. I can go listen to that other thing. Finally get Planet Money going on my morning walk. Basketball is crazy right now, Jamel. Thank you for doing all the business. We've experienced the first ever play-in in-season tournament.
Playover. I think it's called a playover.
The playovers. I felt like I was watching some weird athletic competition in the original Tron when the Cavs played, because the first game that happened was on the Pacers' insane... It looked like they were filming a Marvel movie, is what it looked like.
Too many of these in-season tournament courts look like the Barbados flag. Too many of these joints look like Barbados.
Buddy Hield requested that, even though he's not long for the Pacers.
He might have talked him into it. I have no idea.
They made the courts insane to lull you into buying the terrible city uniforms this year?
Yeah, it's all a part of a plan to move the city uniforms. And it is dumb.
Here's the thing. They could just sell old jerseys every time at the same year and people would buy them as much as they bought the city uniforms.
I don't mind them making a particular court for this event either. It does kind of help me realize that something different is happening now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I think that's the subtlest thing they're hoping, or the smallest thing they hope you would get from this.
But there's many other ways to execute this. How about a little patch on the jerseys? Then you got people buying in-season tournament jerseys.
How about you add a 4-point line?
Yeah. Experiment with new rules in this format. That's fun.
Why don't you make your G League teams play slam ball?
They should have European court lines, like throwback. I know that FIBA changed. They bent to our will, which is crazy. It's kind of like if Europe decided to use standard measurement instead of metric, but they succumbed to us and they started using the regular free throw lines. But like still, we should pull out the molten FIBA ball. We should change the rules where you could do tap ins, all weird and crazy.
I love tap outs almost more than I love tap ins in international.
Dude, I went big on some tap out t-shirts in 2006.
Yeah, it's
man, I was Mr.
Did the
Tap
Wizards
Out.
play a in-season tournament game yet?
Yeah, we lost to Miami by 7.
Sounds like a cover.
That's pretty good for us.
Miami doing the whole rope-a-dope thing where they're going to be bad. And then they're going to sneak into the playoffs.
That's just how that works, man. That's just the Pat Riley way. It's just sort of pretending to be bad for a few months. And it's served them well. Tyler Hero looking all right after, 2.5 years of trade. Past rumors, like trade attempts, they weren't rumors.
I am old enough to remember like 3 years ago when they were like, we're going to have Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, and everyone's going to be so fucking jealous of our white dudes. And then they refused to play Duncan Robinson.
You know what Miami loves? What the city of Miami loves? White guys doing anything.
White guys dressed like they came from Cuba on vacation, though.
The only white dude in Miami that gets love is Dr. Miami.
Who's Dr. Miami?
Dr. Miami, isn't he like a plastic surgeon?
Dr. Miami. Got it. Yes. Michael Sazhauer.
Dr. Miami, Stan Van Gundy.
A celebrity doctor who practices
Michael
plastic
Sazhauer.
surgery.
He's written
Pat Riley
a children's like an honorary Cuban.
Dr. Miami.
You know how people get honorary degrees to universities? Did the Cubans just be like, yeah, Pat Riley, he with us?
You want to know the name of his children's book? Guess the name of Dr. Miami's children's book.
What?
Pretty close.
Baby Miami?
My Beautiful Mommy.
Oh, hey, Dr. Miami, you got to chill out, man. That's not healthy, man. Making mommies beautiful.
Through vivid illustrations and straightforward dialogue,
how dare
My Beautiful Mommy explains a parent's physical transformation in a breezy, child-friendly manner from a young child's perspective. You and your child will follow along as mommy goes through her plastic surgery experience and learn how the entire family pitches in to help mommy achieve her beautiful results.
Yo, Dr. Miami got to calm down. He had been awake for 2 straight weeks when he wrote that.
25 ratings on Amazon, 2.7 stars. So, man,
whoa!
If you're looking for a Christmas gift this year for somebody you never want to talk to again, might I recommend My Beautiful Mommy? Wowzer. I think that sounds like
we're going to have to read it on the show at some point.
Whoa!
Get it? Well, can we obtain this illegally?
$58. Or you could buy it used,
that's a book for
with
kids.
A $3 delivery fee, and it'll get here on November 15th for 6. So we will be reading that soon. All right, maybe I'll get it delivered to somebody else just in case I don't want Beth opening it up, being like, what the fuck is I mean,
you can send it to CJ's office.
Send it to just friends' houses you want to get into fights with their significant others, basically.
It's going down right away. Yeah, you just have to send it to your friends who aren't parents.
Speaking of Miami, I feel like we're living in. Michael Jordan had The Last Dance, and that all captivated us during the pandemic and helped us forget that a bunch of people were dying, which was nice of him. I feel like we're living in LeBron's
thank you.
perpetual The Last Dance, in that he's just trying to rewrite his own legacy specifically for the last 6 years or so.
It does seem like he's going to keep playing until he finds an ending to his doc that he's producing.
Yesterday, he had some quotes saying basically that he would be the same player if he hadn't gone to Miami. Let's see, the quote is, "I think I would still be at this level no matter if I would have came here or not," said the Lakers star. "Let's not get it twisted. The 4 years was here. It was amazing. I loved everything about it. Loved the franchise. The franchise is top tier. It's one of the best in the world. But as far as my career was going to be my career. And as far as individually, because I know how much I put into the game and I know how much I strive to be as great as I can be, as far as that, I was able to learn here was second to none. That's for sure. I came here for one reason. That was to win championships." So he's basically like... So he's... honestly, I think this headline is kind of misleading now that I'm reading the quote on the article. He's like, "I would be the same. LeBron James would still be same player without Miami stint." And yet every quote's like, "Yeah, they helped me win championships, and I learned a lot about the culture." So I got by the algorithm.
Ew. Sorry, buddy. Oh, you tried to read an article? Oh, no. Peter's reading articles again,
Not
y'all.
on my watch.
Somebody get him
Jamel,
his pills.
We're 2 weeks into... Oh, you go ahead.
Well, hold on, wait. No, I'm not going to rush that because we are going to dissect this LeBron doc for at least 62 seconds. First thing, the documentary should be narrated by Puppet
Honestly, can Puppet Kobe be in it too?
Well, posthumous. We'll do like a...
But Kobe didn't voice Puppet Kobe. You could put a halo on Puppet Kobe and he could be a part of it.
So Puppet Kobe narrating from Beyond the Grave is also a really good idea.
Keep Puppet LeBron in check about what's real or not. So he has that kind of critic that Michael would have never approved for in his documentary.
It's David Allen Greer, right? It's David Allen Greer and Kenan Thompson. I mean, that's what I always thought. I know that Kobe is Kenan. Oh, no, Kobe is David Allen Greer, my bad. But I suspect that LeBron was Kenan.
He was the most chillin' I've ever met of anybody chillin'. He was the chillinest of the chillins. I mean, Jamel,
super chill?
I don't know. Yeah, I
check his heart rate.
No one has ever chilled as hard as that dude was chilling. Yep. Kenan Thompson played LeBron and David Allen Greer played Kobe. Great call by you.
So they are still with us. We could do that. But I need that to happen. I need that to happen real bad. Now, you tell me, Mr. Cleveland, Mr. Lake Cuyahoga, one of the Guardians himself, Peter Moses, from East 1999, my N-word. Now, what happens to LeBron if he stays in Cleveland? He's getting a little frustrated. Does he still become the bad guy? Because remember, he went to Miami and he kind of became the bad guy. I do believe if he stays in Cleveland, he also becomes a bad guy. He's getting more technicals because he's yelling at his team and refs.
This is a really good
championships
point by you. And because Bender's not here, I can sit in my Cleveland talk without feeling judged. Even though I will say, we talk about the Sixers more than any other team on the show.
Peter, let's not do this right now, because every time you're on the show, the first 8 minutes is
I saw them win
Cleveland
2 games in New York already this season.
Until you're done. And also, the show should be Cleveland talk, because Cleveland is a very good team now. The point when you guys are a good team, so it's like a national story, and we need Peter Moses to continue to
Cleveland talk,
derail the show with Cleveland talk.
So I think, time is funny, because I think in hindsight, if you're writing the book in real time, there was a guy who wrote a book, I think it was called like The Whore of Akron or something, when LeBron left. Scott Robb, like a Rolling Stone writer, wrote this book that was like blasted LeBron for leaving Cleveland and like what a piece of shit he was. I mean, people fucking hated him. And the way that he basically went on national television and dumped the city was kind of insane. And so that was really hurtful beyond just like, not only can I not win here, I'm going to like dance on all of your graves as I walk out of town. Especially too with the fact that like you're dealing with a bunch of people who had their football team walk away to Baltimore and become one of the best franchises of the last 30 years. So there's a lot of like sensitivity to that. All that being said, and looking back on it in 2023, I think he had to leave Cleveland. I think he made the right decision, and he had to grow up. And I think what he learned, he very much was like, Pat Riley is like this not Jewish and not Cuban, but somehow both basketball Yoda for him. That like, or kind of more, he's kind more like Obi-Wan Kenobi, maybe.
He's into Jewish.
I think he's honorary both. That's what I'm saying. Like Jewish, if you're Pat Riley, right? Like they you can go to like any Cuban restaurant and never pay for a meal. You can also go to any kosher deli and never pay for a meal in Miami. I think you're just like, you kind of, you can go next to the shuffleboard. You can go next to Domino's. Like you just kind of walk amongst whoever you decide to walk amongst. And I think LeBron learned a lot from him. And I don't know. I think he had to go. I don't think Cleveland was set up for success to be patient and bring the stars there that he needed to play with. Because it was pretty heroic that he was going up against Paul Pierce and Garnett and Ray Allen by himself in Cleveland. It was like old Shaq on those teams, dude. It's like Antoine Jameson washed. It was like Wally Zerbiak, Brendan Haywood. I mean, just trash-ass dudes they were trying to bring in to get some. The worst thing they did, and this is where you and I connect, was they paid Larry Hughes a bunch of money, which set them back for years in terms of finding him a running mate. Larry Hughes, Mo Williams was a lesser version of that, but kind of the same thing.
So then he stays, and Cleveland never gets Kyrie. So are you saying if he stays, y'all would never win one?
It's impossible to assume that they would win one. I don't know. I think him in Miami will always be clouded because of kind of the origin of him being like the villain. But that was probably, 2010 to 2017. He had a 6-year run there, 4 with the Heat and 2 or 3 with the Cavs, where like he was probably the best basketball player who's ever lived.
Well, I get. I mean, we talk about how calculated LeBron James is and stuff a lot, and how he's just like actually a goober. But like, he did play this amazing. It seems like he kind of understood that like Cleveland was going to hate him regardless, and it's better to be hated for leaving than hated for just like not winning.
The thing that,
at least he decided that. I guess they never would have got to the point where they were burning his jersey, but
no,
I'm saying, but if he just stayed and they never won, they would have. They wouldn't have burned his jersey, but they would have been like.
I think
they would have gotten to the point where they were like, "Fuck yeah!" If he was like Dame,
it is also probably fair to say LeBron is too talented to have not won a championship. Like it would be fucking insane if LeBron James had 0 championships.
This is okay. So that's the flip, because people would have continued to come play with him because he was LeBron.
It wasn't
wouldn't
about
have mattered
Cleveland
that
sucking as a
Cleveland
city.
sucks
I mean,
as a
it's
city.
somewhat about that, but it's really about the dysfunction of the organization to that point.
You get Ty Lue to
coaching
coach
it was Mike
Cleveland.
Brown before Mike Brown became cool. It was like nerdy, I don't like offense Mike Brown, who was coaching him.
Spike Brown.
It is wild, though. It's crazy just how short-sighted we all are in terms of this. I mean, I think LeBron's legacy at the end of the day, above all else, on the Eastern Conference, will be the list of teams, and I've said this on the pod before, but the list of teams that he denied their opportunity to get to any kind of greatness, including 2 versions of your Wizards. He's so good. He was like, we were just talking about it. He was like contemporaries with Kobe and is compared to Steph at the same time, to be in his era too. He's just been around for so long. I was a virgin when he started playing professional basketball.
I knew you were going to say virgin when you hesitated, but then you thought about maybe saying something else.
Saying virgin is just a weird thing to say.
He has seen you have sex.
I did just go have sex underneath the bleachers of the Q every time I went there in high school.
Deep in the Q.
In the rock. Okay, but to that point...
Okay, that's enough for the goddamn Cleveland
Yes,
dog.
to that point, Jamel, I want to play a game with you.
NBA?
It's called Shit is Real or You're a Poser. I had some good drops for this, but I think they corrupted my computer, and now my computer is like a virus, like the Matrix.
Listen, we might need to consider less war-torn options.
That's shit is real.
In terms of art.
And that's You're a Poser. All right? So, shit is real.
Gotcha.
Or You're a Poser.
And
to me,
and shit is real.
Shit is real
bad?
is like what is happening
is real
to
is
you
good.
as a team 2.5 weeks into the season. We think is real. I feel like, last year, every year, or like the Cavs were like 8-1 or something. They started last year. I was thrilled, but they beat Boston twice in the first 3 weeks in 2 crazy overtime games. Did not fucking matter at all. The Cavs, it was like Boston was going to go where they were going to go. The Cavs were going to go where they were going to go. Like, nothing is real, it feels like, until Christmas. But I'm going to ask you, do you think where some of these teams stand right now? And yes, 70% of the league is 4-3 or 3-4. But I want you to tell me, is what is happening with that team real? Or is
who's
maybe
real,
they have
not,
they're 1-5 right
fake?
now, but you think they're going to be great? Are they a poser? So it could go either way. It's like their record is not a reflection of who you think they are as a team and how you've seen them play. All right.
And the rim shot is
okay. We're going to start with everybody's favorite whites.
Let's do it.
The Boston Celtics, Jamel. Is their shit real or are they a poser?
This shit is real. It's the Celtics. It's real. It's ding dong. It's fucking Richard Belzer. It's all of that. It's Richard Belzer coming up on the bus from Baltimore.
What was the Baltimore basketball team?
With Andre Brower. Homicide. Well, it was the Homicide Life on the Street basketball team.
Who was it?
They were
Baltimore
in the CBA.
Bullets. Yeah. And they moved to DC?
It was the Baltimore Bullets.
All right. See, I'm just...
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think they are real. I think the question is just going to be health with them. Can Kristaps and Drew, less so, but mostly Kristaps, stay healthy? And is their depth going to matter at all? But I think when you score 150 points...
The season has started... The season has started exactly how I predicted that Boston was going to look great and Milwaukee was going to look shaky, and it was going to make
Milwaukee
me sad.
Bucks, is your shit real? Or are you a poser? Milwaukee Bucks right now, 3-2. Worst, bottom 10 defense. Squeaked out one against the Knicks, who are not particularly playing well.
It's Chris Middleton's not right. And it's not okay.
So
I gotta go posers.
I would say you're actually saying shit is real, because if you think they are 20, they're 4-3, 3-4. So you think their shit's like, this is a real... They're 3-2. You think this is a real version of them? They've not looked great. You think what you're seeing is the real shit, or do you think they're going to get their shit together and kind of finish in the top 3?
Oh man, yeah. I don't know about I don't know, son. I just don't know. It's hard to say. I guess right now, I think this is really this is it. Obviously they're going to make the playoffs, but I got them losing in the second round right now. Two weeks in. They got to figure out where. Chris Middleton is just not right, and that's a big problem. And as far as the
Dame
defense
was bad
goes,
at defense,
I don't know how to fix that.
And you just gave kind of your best perimeter defender to your biggest competitor by accident.
Yeah, who's the quarterback? I'm guessing Drew was the one who was kind of the
sure shit wasn't Brooks Lopez.
He's moving people around and covering for people. Yeah, you can't ask that dude to play defense, man. He's got fucking Disneyland's about to do a new Christmas parade. You can't ask this dude to fucking be thinking about.
I'm with you. I don't think
basketball.
It's real. Or I think this shit is real. I think they are going to be in trouble. Yeah.
I just don't think they're going to win a title. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to
be the offseason champs of 2023. And good for them.
Like
that. They won the summer. Boston's probably winning the East, I would say, if you're judging off of 2 weeks of shooty hoops. All right. One more in the East. We talked about him a little bit.
Precisely.
The Miami Heat. Is this shit real? Are they really going to suck butt and maybe miss the play-in? Or are they posing and there's a chance they're in the Eastern Conference semis again, or Eastern Conference Finals again?
Obviously posing. This is the first organization to officially figure out how to flip a switch. A lot of teams have talked about switches they flipped. I know the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq were flipping switches. But listen, they're the new guys. They can
Cavs
flip it.
Flipped it with LeBron the last year.
I guess the Warriors kind of had a
finals,
thing
for sure.
When Durant was there.
But
they didn't really try to.
I'm gonna I'm ready to get hurt again, and I'm just going to say this shit is real because they lost a lot of dudes who, like, even though for them is like Gabe Vincent, Strus, like those dudes mattered. Even if they weren't good during the playoffs, they fucking mattered. I mean, during the regular season, they still fucking mattered. And Strus, at least on the Cavs, seems relevant. I don't think he's good, but he seems relevant, which is important. And he shoots a fuck ton of threes for us. And the fact that, like, as we were talking about a couple minutes ago, they're like, we can never play Duncan Robinson and we want to trade Tyler Hero. And now they're like, JK, these are two of Jimmy's favorite whites. They're going to play all the time. I don't know, man. I don't know if they can kind of MacGyver their way out of this one, but they have every other year, so prove me wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, man. It's like The Office, bro. You know how the season's going to end,
Butler's
man.
Pam on this
Jimmy
team?
Pam are going to kiss.
Is it Jim and Bam are going to kiss? Nice. Soulmates? It's weird that, like...
Or it's Jim and Bam.
Bam is a weird player because everyone's like, he's a top 3 center. But then he also disappears what feels like for weeks on end. But he's kind of like, I don't know. He's just a weird... it's hard to like be like, oh, I love Bam Adebayo because he does these things all the time. It's not something I feel like anyone's really ever said. Kind of looks like a next gen, like a Pokemon level he's got up of
big ass shoulders.
You know, from like Charmander to Charizard. Sure. All right, West Coast.
Yes. And this would be the Charmeleon?
Dallas Mavericks. Is your shit for real, or are you posers? Yeah, what is for real is that they're fucking sweet.
And what is for real is that they're fine or not?
5-1 start is for real.
I do think it's for real. I do think it's for real because this is, there's a big trend this year. Point guards with nowhere else to go. Point guards who have run out of options. And they're all playing pretty good.
That's Donna Summer or ABBA or someone.
Is that oh, I thought you were doing like I thought you were doing like some shit from the phonograph era.
I think that the world has gotten so fucked up that whatever Kyrie could usually do to derail this season, no one would really care anymore. And so he's almost lost the power to derail them because everything is insane. And I think that's kind of the best thing going for them as a team. Also, it is wild to see Derek Lively fit them. I don't feel like it's often that like a big man comes in as a rookie and acts like this. And I think Luka and Kyrie are kind of the perfect people to have him just fill a lane. But I feel like they've been looking for a version of him as a veteran for years. And so it's really impactful. Yeah.
It's nice to see, man. It's nice to see a team as inept as the Mavs have been since Dirk kind of got old and the front office has been fucking up super bad. But just a team where in the preseason you're like, they're not going to do anything. And they actually drafted correctly.
And good for them. They tanked at the end of the year.
They had a lame draft
and
position,
everyone gave them a ton of shit for it.
They got the guy that they needed.
They shaved it. Probably us. Probably me on this podcast. And like it really worked out for them. So
shit for it. And look at this.
Tank your heart out because you can do whatever you want and it'll probably work out for you.
I still, my problem with tanking is it makes the team unwatchable. I cannot watch the Wizards as they are constructed. It was way easier for me to watch the Wizards attempting to win with the same bullshit roster. Knowing that they're not trying.
But I think this is the glimpse into, and I can't believe we're going to talk about
what am I
the
supposed
Sixers,
to do? Like, watch and
this
hope
is where
that they
Michael's
lose?
Pain, as an evil villain character, this is his origin. Pain is like, can you imagine doing this for like 5 years? It's too much. Like you guys should be doing this for 2 years tops. I feel like,
yeah,
you got to make some big trades.
It's a little bit much.
You got to trade away like everyone. Is Jordan Poole untradeable?
Kuzma's gone in 2 years, right? I mean, unless we trade him.
Playing more like Jordan Bath recently.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. A couple more here from the Western Conference. Let's see. 1-6. Your Memphis Grizzlies. Is this shit for real, or are they fucking posers right now?
Fucking posers, man. Point guards that, once again, the theme of this year is point guards that have run out of options rising to the occasion. They'll find a way to win a couple games before Ja gets back.
What's that movie where
absolutely fucking
Robert De Niro's in it?
Nuts.
And I think Wesley Snipes is in it too. And the movie starts out and he's playing a football game and all of a sudden he just like shoots somebody in the chest. Is that what it is?
The Fan?
Oh, really?
The Last Boy Scout. It's Damon Wayans. I think so. It's Damon Wayans.
Whatever the movie is, where like it's just
The Fan is De Niro.
It's just like a football scene. It's kind of a generic football scene, and the running back is like running the ball, and someone's about to tackle him, and he just like pulls a gun out of his waistband and like shoots him in the chest. And that I think is going to be every Ja Morant highlight.
Yeah, because he's on that shit. And then he scores, and then they counted the touchdown.
Well, so far they've got one. So,
look, every win they get without him,
I don't know, man. They have no bigs,
so they're
I don't think Steven Adams is ever going to play again.
They're actually 2-6 and not 1-6.
I think, like, I don't know,
losing
man.
Steven Adams is the bigger problem in the immediate, obviously.
I mean, case scenario. Let's say best case scenario. They're going to go 11-14 when Ja's not here. I mean, that is I don't know, dude. Like, I mean, the West is going to be tough. Fucking Portland, who's trying to tank, they have 3 wins already.
So you're saying this is it? They're done,
including beating the Grizzlies. The only teams that actually aren't caring about winning this year in the West,
they're too young to know how to lose responsibly.
So they're going to have to beat one of Sacramento. Houston doesn't really care about winning either. But, like, who are they going to replace in the play? Like, the play-in right now is Spurs. They'll probably drop. So, like, Lakers, Thunder, Kings, Suns. Are they going to usurp any of those fucking teams? I don't know, man. I think this shit is for real. Like, I would bet you $5 hairs right now that the Memphis does not make the playoffs. Or the play-in. Okay. All right, that's a bet. I bet you Memphis does not make the play-in.
I'll give you 5 hairs for my bull mask. I'll give you 5 hairs.
3-3. The Victor Wembanyama's, including 2 wins against the Phoenix Suns, an iconic 38-point performance where he's putting up threes like he is the love child of Kevin Durant and Hakeem Olajuwon. Are the San Antonio Spurs, is this shit for real, or are they fucking posers? Watching him is fucking insane.
I mean, they seem like a play-in team. When he's on, he's on. When he's on, he's on.
That's enough.
Shaq keeps trying to say him and Bol are the same.
Dude, he's 19. He's 19.
Keeps trying to say. I guess he only said it once, but
it kind of doesn't matter. I mean, I think this shit's just for real because I can't believe he's 19. Like, what a blessing 19. For Pop that he's going to get to just, I don't know, die coaching or fade into the under the Tuscan sun wine sunset. With playing this guy playing for the rest of his professional coaching career, it's wild, man. He hasn't even figured out. He can't even. It is wild. It's honestly, it was worth all of the hype last year, and there was a ridiculous amount of hype, but he's worth it. They made Brian Windhorst go to
played an entire France season of French basketball on American
during
television.
the season.
That's a lot of hype. Bro, you got to go back. He's in the
definitely
semis.
The most.
Like what?
You go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. The French semis? I mean, you know, he does fit the bill. And the Spurs as a team, I mean, they're fine. Vassell, Keldon Johnson, you know, I mean, it seems like there's still a
he blew his last chance in a couple of years, if you know what I mean.
They do not have a point guard with who's out of chances.
It does remind me of early LeBron days,
who was out of chances.
Where he's playing with like
blew his last chance.
And like Ira Newble.
Oh, buddy.
And you're just like, this is not set up for success. You're the Spurs, you probably want to tank again just to get some more assets. Even if you only play him 60 games, like, I don't know, man. Like, can you tank with someone like this? Like,
one more year?
I don't know. Yeah, they're a must watch.
I think you go get 10th.
I would say this shit's for real. I don't know if they're going to make the play-in. I could definitely see Memphis storming past them, but it's wild. Yeah, it's like, this is ridiculous. Like, I know
it's
Zach
really
Collins has actually kind of had a little bit of a renaissance, but
and watching someone on the Spurs
do anything
other than give him the
fuck
ball
out of the way.
It's like, what are you thinking? Yeah, Malachi Branham. Hey, Malachi Branham.
I think Malachi is actually Hebrew for give
Malachi
Victor Wembanyama the fucking ball. You fucking herb.
Post.
Yeah. I would say I'd like to give 2 honorable mentions before we go to teams that I.
He's got
a collapsed lung,
now.
And that team's bad. And I still think I want to root for the Pelicans. A small collapse. I do think they are posers right now. I just think Zion and Ingram and I think health is always come for them.
It's a small,
and until they can be
collapse.
healthy, I'm just not gonna
baby collapse.
I'm just not gonna fall in love again. Remember, they were like top of the West, like mid to late November last year.
It is weird when your best player, who is not Zion at the moment,
control.
Is out with a collapsed lung.
Oh yeah, same.
They're
losing right now
some nice
to the Mavericks
games this year too,
by 7
man.
points.
I pray for them.
Fourth.
Is what I say about them
from the East Coast.
Lord, I just want it to work.
The Orlando Magic, kind of fun. They're fine. They're fun. They could be I think if they were a play-in team, that's a huge win for them. Having been in the doldrums for a long time, I can definitely see them staying above the Hornets. I can see them staying above the Raptors. I can see them staying above the Bulls. I think there's definitely room for them in the top 10 in the East, to be real. All right, that's it. I'll hold you to it.
I'll be forced to watch them soon.
All right, Jamel,
I don't know when I'm going to watch a
decent
whole
amount of time. Is there anything else you want to say to the people?
It seems like them losing to the Magic might be one of them. Nothing really. Thanks for listening, and
Kobe Puppet's
subscribe
to
the Patreon.
That was me we'll have doing an impression of the Kobe Puppet.
Who we gonna have on? We're gonna have the Kobe Puppet.
I am evolved. Happy basketball.
There he is. Appreciate y'all very much. Shooter the Hooper.
You're ugly. You're disgusting. I'm going to kill you. Give me $200.